So that'll bring us to what we're doing today. We've got a series of quests, or of contracts that have been accepted so far. Just the main ones so far. And what we've got today is we have to do a moon landing with a probe. This should be relatively easy, actually. The thing I'm most concerned about, actually, is not going to involve leaving Kerbin at all. It is going to be a manned and powered Kerbin landing. As a precursor to eventually sending Kerbals to the moon, we have to do a practice run of landing a ship, taking off with a vessel. Don't have to go very high. I think it's like 500 meters. Yeah, 500 meters, that's it. Just go up 500 meters, go slightly sideways to a site that's like right next door to the launch pad, and come back down using only basically rockets. We're not allowed any parachutes, we're not allowed any wings or anything like that. So we can't use a plane, we can't do whatever. It's going to be a rocket that goes up, sideways, and then lands. And we lost a lot of probes trying to do the unmanned version of that last time. This time we're going to be doing a manned version, so I'm kind of expecting some dead Kerbals. So we're going to see. So that's the contract, and then it's manned orbit for 72 hours. That'll confirm that our life support is working. And then after we've done, I think, these 3, that should actually unlock the ability to do a manned landing on the moon. So we'll take a look at that afterwards. In terms of the tech tree, it's a combination of the community tech tree mod and the SETI, like, rebalancing stuff that puts, all the unmanned stuff first. So you start to unlock, like, the command capsules, life support mods, different things like that as you go forward to unlock more stuff. But the tech tree has been embiggened substantially over here. So so what we've done so far is we have gotten someone into orbit. Actually, I think at the end of the last video, I hadn't technically done the get someone into orbit contract, although we had already done it ahead of time. I think our contractors just get someone to space and then come back. We happen to orbit at the same time. So anyway, I picked up the get someone to orbit mission, and I went and did it and just landed, because it's a trivial thing to do. Once you get experience at Kerbal Space Program, getting to orbit and back is like no big deal at all. I'm much more terrified about this powered landing thing, and that's what we're going to start with. There's a saying that people like to say, if for whatever reason every day you have to swallow a frog, well, you better just do it first thing in the morning, get it out of the way instead of dreading it the whole day. So we're going to go, and we're going to start by swallowing the frog, which is the thing that we're the most afraid of. So I think we're going to get going. What's the source for all the mods? There's a tool called CCAN, which is by far the easiest way to download, install, and manage your mods. CKAN is the best way to do it. Easy peasy. Okay, so we need to put a Kerbal in something, so we're going to use the Mark 1 command pod. I'd actually prefer not using the Mark 1 command pod. I don't suppose, we don't have a whole lot of science, so probably not. It would be a lot better if we had the lander can, because the lander can is lighter. It's not quite as durable, it's not aerodynamic in the same way, but I'm assuming, here's the lander can over here, would take 90 science. We're damn close. But it weighs less. I could probably get some science from something. There's probably still science I could roam around over here to do. I suppose what I could do is we could do our unmanned probe to land on the moon and have it transmit some science back to us. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just use the Mark 1 command pod. Okay. So, we'll start with this. I mean, there's a few others, but these are all going to be heavier. Well, technically, the Mark 1 retro cockpit is lighter, but it would just feel awkward, I think, to use that shape. So we'll do this. And what we're going to do is we're simply going to stick some sort of fuel tank under it, like perhaps this. And then we're going to stick probably some sort of radial engine on it, like the thuds. I wonder if a duo... Actually, that's probably going to be wicked amounts of overkill, right? Yeah, these are really powerful engines. Do we have... Are the spiders strong enough? If I went with, like, quad? No, see, these guys would not be powerful enough to lift us off the ground. So I guess we'll use the thuds. Whoops. I mean, I guess I could just put, you know, a flat engine underneath it. The Terrier's not very fuel efficient in the atmosphere. So, no, that's no good. I think the thuds are how we've got to go. Yeah, no Mario Maker race this year. It's a little unfortunate. So, but this will only give us 6 seconds of burn time. Well, we could go and bring down the thrust to make these a little less overkill. To give us a little bit more efficiency. This is a lot of weight for us to haul, which isn't the greatest, but it might be what we have to put up with. Don't forget thrusters. You probably mean something like words. Like these thrusters, RCS blocks. If we're light enough, I think our reaction wheel is going to be more than fine. I mean, the thrusters do have the advantage of being able to move laterally without tilting, but I think we'll make do without it. I think we're going to be okay. We might want to add an extra reaction wheel, just to get a little bit more control authority that way. What we are not allowed to do is add a parachute, which is freaky. So it's got to have at least one Kerbal. No parachute, no radio-mounted parachutes, no aero parts whatsoever, which is currently the case. Yeah, I think that'll get met. It doesn't have the checkbox now, but I think once we actually get in there, I think that'll get met at that point. Because we don't have anything with the aero category in here. And then we need some landing gear, which I guess is just going to be the micro landing strut, because that's all we have unlocked. And we'll go to four-way symmetry here, and just try to bring them down as low as we can. And maybe what we'll do is bring these guys up as high as we can, and go with something like this. It's a little bit ridiculous, but a little bit ridiculous might be just right. Hey, Drac, thank you very much for the tip. Got my first paycheck for my first job after getting my master's degree, so I have a few spare ducats to throw into your whiskey and chocolate fund. Thank you very much, Drac. Appreciate it very much. And K. Michael Prince as well. Thank you. Not usually able to catch much live content, but yesterday's vasectomy has secured my seat for this entire stream. Excited to enjoy KSP with you today. Thanks for playing. Well, thank you for watching, and yeah, keep a bag of peas nearby to keep the bits chilled. And Kuman, another tip to the Whiskey and Chocolate Fund. Weather in Denmark was rainy this morning and sunny in the afternoon, or the evening, so good luck, and full fish-filled banana orange bread. Kuman's got a weird obsession. Anyway, turn the thrust down a notch or two, better control. Yeah, that's probably true. I kind of like that, because right now our surface level thrust is 1.73. We'd still go up quite quickly. We do want enough thrust to be able to slow ourselves down in a hurry if we suddenly find ourselves dropping a little too fast. So I think I'll stick with something like a 1.4. That'll still easily get us up to 500 meters. So we got about 30 seconds of burn time at full throttle. No parachute, no backup plan. This is the thing that's most likely to kill a Kerbal than anything else in the universe. So we're gonna give this a go. We're gonna call this the XP Action Lander Mark 1. That's it. All right, let's launch it. What could possibly go wrong? So this is I'm not like making things up. This is going to be much harder than going to the moon, than doing a lot of things. Oh, apparently we can get a crew report from Launchpad. We've never got a crew report from Launchpad. Seems a little bit unlikely, but okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Or something else I wanted to do and I can't remember. I got interrupted by the pop-up. I feel like there was something else I was going to set. I don't know. Maybe I was just like, oh, let's double check the contract and make sure that it is still legal. This is our manned Kerbin landing. Yep, okay, we have to get above 500 meters. Oh, I was going to verify that we have to be at a certain point. Oh, do we not? Because the pod, the probe type, had to land near the monolith over here. But this looks like it doesn't care where I land. Oh, that's going to be a lot easier. The only reason it gets tricky is when you start going sideways. When you have to turn from, like, slightly at an angle, but not overkill it too much. It looks like all we have to do is go straight up and then straight back down. Oh, this is going to be way easier. Okay, well, you know what? Tell you what, to keep the drama up, we're going to still try to see if we can drift over to the monolith. Because, yeah, going up and then coming right down is going to be, that's nothing. All right, let's turn on SAS. We're going to start full throttle, and we're going to go. And then what we're going to do is go slightly... Oh, I got to use W. That's the other problem. Okay, we're closing in. I'm going to throttle down, throttle down, throttle down, throttle down. We were going way too much. We're still climbing. How's that possible? Oh, well, because we still have momentum, of course. There we go. Now we're starting to drop, which is fine. There we go. We're descending. Oh, we're starting to climb again. Okay. Getting ready to kill our sideways motion. Did we just run out of fuel? Oh, shit. That did not feel like 30 seconds burn at full throttle. That didn't feel like that mission was so long. What's the in-game timer here? 55 seconds. Ah, poor Jebediah. And we're not going to revert. We're not going to revert. So, we went a little higher than needed. And, again, we didn't have to go sideways. Anyone want to say a few words? We could actually make our life a lot easier if we just added a little bit more fuel too, which I think I should probably do. I mean, there are lots we could do, but let's just double our fuel, which of course will add more weight as well. Our surface level thrust is still going to be fine here, probably. Oh, hold on. We have to make sure we've got a pilot in here. I'm betting it put in a scientist for us, which is not what we're looking for. Told you, I was intentionally doing something. Oh, yeah, here, we'll keep that. Because who is... Oh, it is Valentina! Okay. SAS turn on. Full throttle. Go. Alright, let's point ourselves roughly... Yeah, like that. It's fine. Alright. Now just point straight up. Again, all we have to do is go straight up and down. If we lose another Kerbal, we may stop the lateral motion. Because we don't actually have to stop here. So, whoa, 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 whoa on the throttle. Go down to about a third. Keep going sideways a little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, again, we went up way too high. Alright, that's pretty much going to be close enough. I think that would have been within the range last time. So, throttle up, throttle up, throttle up. Burn a little retrograde to kill more of the sideways. Full throttle. Full throttle. Full throttle. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Lower the throttle. Full throttle. A little hard. Oh, no. That is not entirely... Oh, okay. Everything's fine! So again, if we had gone straight up and then straight back down, easy mission. It's this sideways shit, and we almost ran out of fuel again. The sideways shit is insanely hard. I think we lost, we did lose a couple of our little lander pods here, but everything is okay. Whoo! Should call the ship the Kerbal Crusher. We're gonna call it the Jebediah Memorial Powered Lander. All right, so hopefully that actually completed. It didn't actually complete the contract. Why didn't it actually complete the contract? Okay, we're gonna try it again, going straight up and down. So there's our probe-based hoverlander. What was this one? The XP Action. I'll have to keep the mission open this time. So we won't need to go sideways. Since we accomplished the sidewaysness. What's the deal? Man Kerbin landing. Land or splash down on Kerbin. That doesn't even have the criteria listed anymore. What's going on here? A little higher. Did it have to be named the M. Kerbin lander? That would be weird and incorrect. No, it should count. It's not, I don't know. It's not registering the vessel like I would think. See, straight up and down is super easy. It'll be the world's most gentle landing. Look at this. Well, mostly gentle. Yeah, it's not registering it. The first try should have counted. Yeah, I don't know. I might just activate the cheat to force it to complete, because that's the thing. It got rid of all the other conditions. You think it has to be named? Does it say something about vessel type? I'll look at it in mission control here. All right. I'm wondering if you got confused because, see, vessel new, vessel to be determined. Like, it gave us credit for this one. It's not the name. It's got this split into two different things. This first one, I think it bugged. I think we're just going to use the cheat. So what is it? Alt F12? No, that's the console. Or, wait. Oh, that's right, it changed. Contracts. Active. Manned Kerbin landing. We're going to complete it, because we totally did that. I think it's bugged. Most chat seems to agree. Above 500 meters incomplete. We went above 500 meters, well, all 3 times. It's possible that the failure confused it. Because we went, like, on the even the second flight, which was successful, we went, like, 800 meters or something like that. So, yeah. We'll just go ahead and mark it complete, because it's clearly should have been. SETI contracts. So now we have access to... we've already accepted moon landing. Oh, E-Flyby, Duna, and Ike. Okay, so we've got to land a probe on the moon. And we have to do a manned orbit for 72 hours. Which one do we want to do first? Land a probe on the moon? I think so. Moon landing probe. Yeah. All right, good. So I think we're going to start with a brand new design then. We'll use the SETI Probe Stack 1. Lovely little device. Plenty of battery power. Even comes with a little thermometer built in just for whatevers. We would like to pack this with science experiments that transmit back home well. So if we take a look at science, we know that like the material bays and the goo canisters, which apparently we don't have access to at this point, don't really transmit very well. I think the press mat transmits for 100%. I don't know about the magnometer or whatever, and the orbital telescope is just something you use, well, in orbit. So maybe the press mat, and maybe we go and give it the boom. Wow, that is really big. Is there, can you find out if something transmits for whole, oh, transmission 100%. Oh, excellent. And this one doesn't actually tell you, which is a little awkward. This one says 100%, and it doesn't tell you here either. This universal storage one says 50% for both the pressure and the temperature, so I'm kind of confused. Magnos. I'm going to assume this is going to be fine. So we're going to send it with 3 experiments, try to land it on the moon, and then send back this info. So obviously we'll need an antenna as well. We're going to figure out where we're going to place that in a second. So we're going to design something that's not too dissimilar from what we've just done here, which is to say put some sort of fuel tank. I mean, this is almost certainly a ridiculous amount of overkill. Well, actually, we actually could use the thinner ones, right? The, what are they? The Oscars? I think that's the only... Oh, there we go, B3. Is that still rocket fuel? Yeah, it is. So we could go with that, and then we could put the little Pomeranian engine in here, which has really good vacuum thrust and is quite light. Thrust to weight ratio is significant, so it's going to be able to land us perfectly fine, give us lots of control. It's got gimbling in there, which is going to be a-okay. I think the probe core has reaction wheels. 0.2. How powerful is that? Not that powerful, so we're going to go ahead and give it the small inline reaction wheel as well for a ton of torquing power. It's going to need some batteries. I want to avoid making this too just tall, because it can be hard to balance this. So I'm actually wondering if what we do is we give it a couple of batteries, like just some of these E100s. What's the weight difference? Yeah, it makes sense. Good. If we go and set like a trio of batteries and then attach the landing gear to that, just to give us a wee bit more width. Oh, apparently you can't. Okay, that's fine. And you want the landing gear to be as high as possible, because if it's like this, again, you end up too tall and too unbalanced. But you do need to make sure there's enough clearance that with the spring effect, your engine doesn't hit. Although, once we've landed, we don't actually care about the engine. And you can remove the springiness on these things as well, the spring strength. But I think that's going to be enough clearance. That's tons of battery power. We'll probably want to throw on some solar panels as well. There we go. A trio of solar panels. What do you think? It's probably okay. Hey, Crass. Sorry I missed the subiversary there. I found, the 3 years is pretty huge. I wish I could put... I could probably get a different announcement tool that has like special things for anniversaries. I should really look into that, actually. Now, we do need to be able to communicate back home, otherwise we won't be able to steer this thing, nor transmit the science back. Now, we've got the Communitron 16, which doesn't have a very strong power. It gives you the distance based on the level of DSN. I did put I have a satellite in polar orbit around Kerbin as well, with a relay antenna. It's possible this would reach back, but I would be kind of nervous that maybe it don't. So I'm wondering if what we do is simply use one of the more powerful antennas. I don't think we need the one with 2G strength, but maybe the 5 million strength as opposed to the 500K strength. So this high gain antenna, it's pretty big. But it might be okay. Yeah, 500K is not enough. Well, it depends, because it's sort of the addition of its strength plus the strength of the other side. But I guess we'll do this. We don't need the relay ability, but we need the range. So I think that's what we're landing with. We've got radio, we've got solar, we've got battery, we've got some experiments, we got lots of reaction wheels, and we have a thrust to weight ratio of 2, which means we should have a fair amount of control to slow ourselves down. We've also got a delta V in a vacuum of 1,600 meters per second, which means this, you need about 800 to deorbit from the moon and land nicely, or vice versa, you need about 800 to take off from the moon and enter into orbit of the moon. So this is going to give us more than enough. Most likely we'll be able to use this when we get into the sphere of influence of the moon. We could use some of this to orbit into the moon and then land and be perfectly fine. So if we end up with this tank still full or even mostly full as we get into the sphere of influence of the moon, that's going to be more than enough delta V. So I feel like that's probably okay. No, I don't want to click on the fuel tank. I want to click on... There we go. Retract. Okay. What's delta V? Delta V means change in velocity. Delta is used in math to indicate change, and V stands for velocity. It's the total amount of change of velocity you can execute. Delta V is the most important number when you are designing ships in Kerbal, which is annoying because there's no way to know what your delta V is in vanilla. You need a mod to tell you that. I mean, you can calculate it, but it's very hard. It's basically, it's sort of the total amount of push you're going to get out of your spaceship. It doesn't tell you how fast it's going to get pushed, just what the total push will be in the end. And so my comparison in my tutorial video was, imagine you had two cars with exactly the same fuel tank. One's a big-ass supercar with a V12 engine. It's going to go really fast and then run out of fuel in, 10 miles. And then the other one's some super fuel-efficient, a little hybrid kind of thing. And on that one tank of gas, it could cross, from the entirety of Europe or something like that, right? That would be the example of one car has high thrust, but because it has a poor ISP rating, specific impulse rating on its engine, it ends up poor fuel efficiency, which means its total delta V is going to be much lower. A change of velocity effectively translates to total distance you can travel for various hand waving, let's pretend kind of thing. So anyway, so it's really nice to have a mod that gives you the information, although apparently I am hiding it, because then you can get an idea if you've got a setup that will take you as far as you need to go, or if you need to make, add more fuel or lighten your ship somehow, or change something else about what's going on.